In this tutorial we will add a transaction to the example that we've been working with. A typical transaction that would take place at a restaurant would be the consumption of food. So let's add a transaction anchor for that transaction. So we add a tied anchor connected to the restaurant here, and this is our new transaction anchor, and we name it consumption. And what's left to do now is to also connect this anchor to the dish, so we know what was consumed in this consumption. To do that we need to do a multiple selection, so I shift click the dish and then I hover over the consumption anchor and select add tie from the context menu. Now the consumption anchor is connected both to the dish and to the restaurant. I can shift click somewhere in the blank area to remove the selection. We also need to keep track of a few things about the transaction itself. For example, at what time it took place. So we need to add another attribute that says date, so we know on which day this consumption took place. Let us also keep track of a second thing, which is the amount of food that was consumed, like that. So now we have a new anchor with two attributes that's modeling the transaction of consuming food at a restaurant. What's left to do here is to define the different roles for the ties, the roles that the anchors play in the relationship that the tie is modeling. So for example, if we go to the restaurant here, that's the location, of course, the location where the consumption took place. At. And here for the dish, that was what was eaten, of course, in this consumption. So that leaves us with one more thing to do, and that is to define the primary keys for the ties. Since this will be a many-to-one relationship, both of the anchors cannot be part of the primary key. So what we do is to toggle the identifier for the anchors that are not part of the primary key, and then we're done with adding the transaction.